Working full time. Oh my god, this is a really big topic I wanted to talk about. Because it's something very dear to me. Is that how you say it? Dear to me? Jesus Christ, is there a deer next to me? I don't know. What am I talking about? That wasn't even. That was just fucking waffle. Anyway, moving on. For working full time, and working full time at the ripe old age of 18, and really starting from 16. This is what I want to talk about today. I really want to talk about going into work instead of maybe college or university, and in the means of maybe just going full time if you can in some sort of way, or really going into work through maybe apprentice. And like I said, I want to talk about this today because it's something that I started working when I was 16. I did have a very fortunate, very fortunate opportunity. My brother, actually, we look back a little history into Harry Manners' history. Well, it's not necessarily my history, but it's history that is affected now my life now. And we look back and we see my lovely brother, who's now 25, but at the time was 16. And when he was 16, he was kind of coming out of school. And I don't think he ever went to college. No. But what he did do was he went to my dad and he went, well, I don't know what I want to do, but what I do want to do is start a business. And my dad, he'd always been in the IT industry, very much sort of business to business. If you don't know what that means, it's self-explanatory, mate. Business to business, yeah? A business sells to another business. That's what business to business means, okay? I know I said business too much, so don't be getting in on my business, that's for sure. I'm fucking waffling again. Anyway, we're getting back to it. My dad had always been in IT, always in the IT space, specifically on a reseller side. To really briefly go over it, the way sort of IT works in business is you have obviously your manufacturers. Everyone fucking knows the manufacturers. You got Dell, you got HP, you got Lenovo, all these massive companies. Everyone's heard of them, like Acer, Microsoft Surface, and all that. Everyone fucking knows these brands, okay? Because you're probably watching either on a computer that's one of those brands, or you've got something in your house that's brand, or whatever. But do you know what I mean? Everyone knows these brands, and they're the manufacturers, and they're the ones that actually have the sites where they're creating the laptops, and they're the ones making it and designing it and everything like that. Then you have the distributors. And what the distributors do is they work directly with the manufacturers. And what they do is they will actually be sort of the people that stock the devices. Because actually most of the manufacturers don't actually stock it themselves, at least on business side. Maybe consumer side they might, which again, if you don't know what consumer is, Jesus Christ, go pick up a book. But consumer is basically just the average person, someone not within a business, someone that's buying for themselves for personal reasons. That's what consumer is. And, maybe these manufacturers for consumer have their own stock that they hold in like warehouses and stuff. But really for business side, they don't really hold the stock or really control it. Or they might have some sort of level of stock. But a lot of the time they're trying to get rid of it right away and get it over to distributors. What distributors are, you might have heard of some of them because some of them are quite big names. You've got West Coast, Exertis, Ingram, they're sort of your really big ones. And there's a few sort of other distributors. But what they do is, like I said, is they stock the devices and they kind of do all the, let's say, the admin and stuff surrounding looking after these devices and then that sort of thing. And what they do is distributors work with where I sort of work, which is a reseller. And the resellers, we're the ones that actually have contact with the customers. So we're the ones that actually build relationships, do the selling, working with them to find out what's going to suit them best. Where can we best help them with things? We might be the people to offer like engineers as well to come out, maybe build a solution for them as well. But what we do basically is we are getting the devices from distribution and getting them over to the customer. So we don't actually hold any stock ourselves. And you might be thinking, this just sounds like some middleman shit. It's kind of that, but a lot of our value adds, a lot of our value that comes from working with a reseller is that you get sort of that consultative side, and especially you get sort of maybe experts that can talk about things. If they're looking at some high-end servers, which is like sort of stuff to look after their business. These are specialist equipment that a lot of big businesses need to buy, and so it's so much easier to work with a reseller. And on top of that, distribution are not actually allowed to sell out to customers. So resellers are the only ones that are actually legally allowed to have control, and it's because it's something that, you know, the manufacturers and distribution sort of sign contracts with each other that they're not going to sell it out themselves, and that is, you know, it's only resellers. But basically every business deals with resellers, basically. That's the cost of it. The only outlier of that is that Dell love to be dickheads, and they're the only manufacturer really that does direct. And what that is they basically do everything themselves, where they stock it, they deliver it, and they do all the customer relations as well. It doesn't mean you can't sell Dell as a reseller. There's still a lot of benefits that comes out of working with a reseller compared to Dell. And, you know, there's a lot of problems that come with working with Dell, because if they're doing everything from, you know, the manufacturing to the delivering to the working with the customer, there's so many variables that come into that, and so many problems that can happen when it's one business that's controlling it. But when you have a specialist one for each sector, so a specialist stock, you know, and distribute, or a specialist person working with customers and that sort of side, you get a much better approach and better service for customers. But anyway, I'm getting too much into that. It's getting fucking boring, Harry. We're moving on. Basically, you've got an understanding now of what is IT. And very much my dad has always worked in the reseller side. So what that is selling to customers directly. And we'll be contacting them. And, you know, initially it's through what is called cold outreach. The way that sort of terms in sales in terms of outreach is you have cold, you have warm, and you have hot, and then you got a customer. What is cold? Let's start from there for people that don't know what cold is. Cold is when you've never had any contact with a customer. They might not know about you at all. Basically, there's been no interaction with the customer in the slightest. So cold outreach is going to be you're completely introducing yourself, completely new. Obviously, as you can probably tell, cold outreach is one of the hardest, because you're completely reaching out to someone that might not even be interested in what you're doing, or they might not even want what you want. And you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do to help yourself by, you know, qualifying someone, finding out, researching things. But in general, cold outreach is really difficult. Next, you got your warm outreach, and warm outreach is you usually use warm outreach when you're kind of referring to someone that's seen a bit more of your company before. Maybe you've already done a cold outreach to them before, and now this is sort of your second outreach again to them, where, you know, they've already, maybe there wasn't something they were able to kind of give you to sell to them last time, but maybe, you know, you're outreaching again to see if maybe there's something now that it's been a couple of months, and so that would be more of a warm outreach, because they already know about you, they've already seen a bit of an introduction. However, they're not a customer, and they might not even be a you know, good lead that turns into making some money from them, or having them buy anything. But it's a warm outreach, because they're going to be probably a bit more, in the name, warmer to you, and maybe nicer. And I think, again, with cold calls, you can think it in the same way. They're going to be more colder towards you, in terms of how they are and friendliness and stuff. Then you've got hot accounts, and hot accounts are normally referred to people that are, like, you know, really good leads, and it looks like something's about to come out from them. So it's maybe you've initially done a cold outreach, and maybe now, you know, your many calls down, you've had a few meetings regarding some new things they're going to buy, maybe a new solution they need, and they're very much talking to you about it and going to be hopefully buying from you. That's a hot account, because it's very much like, oh, it's hot, it's fiery, stuff's going on, stuff's going on everywhere. That's what a hot account is. And basically, that is very much what comes from sales, and a big problem from sales is having to do sort of cold outreach. Like I said, it's the really hard part. But coming back from sales, that's very much what my dad always did, very much in the IT space, and I think IT, I'll get into this again further, but IT is my biggest recommendation for getting into when you're getting into a job right now, especially sales, and really I am referring to sales because that's what I'm in, and what I have experience on, and what I can offer there. But getting back to it, like I said, my dad, oh Jesus Christ, I've said this about 5 times, but yep, my dad was always in IT. And he actually used to, he founded another reseller before. And it was a really successful. He founded it with, you know, some mates, and things like that. And they actually started a business where they built this reseller up to really high. But basically, it got quite far along where, you know, it was what my dad owned of the business, his shares of it were quite a bit. And on top of that, it was just not what he wanted to do anymore, this exact business. Not to put any shade towards them, it seemed like a great reseller, but maybe he just didn't like how they run things, and not to say that it was a bad way of running it, but something that just didn't really suit with him. And, you know, there's undisclosed reasons and other reasons they might have left, but in general, my dad left, and kind of stopped on that side. What kind of came out of that then a couple of years later, so my dad's obviously doing quite well. You know, when he did leave, that other reseller sold his shares and had quite a bit of money to be able to, you know, pay off his house, you know, all that sort of stuff. But to get further into it, my brother wanted to start a business, like I said, and this was at 16, and this was kind of coming out of school and going, you know what, I really want to be a part of a business, and that's what I want to do. And I think what my brother and my dad kind of came to the conclusion was that they wanted to start an IT company because my dad had loads of experience in it. It's a really good job, and I just think it's one of the most profitable areas as well. IT has so much money in it, and it can be really good for money, and really, really good businesses to run. And obviously, like I said, my dad having a lot of experience in it made sense. So what kind of happened was they started this business, and it was great. And it's the IT reseller. Again, I don't know if I'll say the title, the name of the reseller, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to get too much into maybe the more private details. But yeah, started the reseller. And what kind of came with that was going quite further with it, you know, building up customers, going far, and now, you know, multiple years now in the future from then. My brother being 25, starting at 16, so my brain can't think of them out. 9 years, isn't that? Jesus Christ, 9 years. Wow. No. Yep, 9 years. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so started that business. And very much it was kind of always looked upon me to go join that, because what actually happened was my other brother joined. My brother, who's slightly closer in age to me. He's 5 years older than me, so he's closer to my older brother than he is to me. But very much that was what was kind of always looked upon me to be going off to go do. And Jesus Christ, I can't get up. What kind of came with that? Oh, fucking hell, I can't get out of this hole. Alright, we're going down, guys. We're going down. We're going down. Oh, no, we're not going down. Okay, we'll get out of this while I carry on my conversation. Basically, I'm fucking waffling. Let's just skip along because you're probably fucking bored of my little monologue. What happened was I came and joined the job. And I've been in sales for a while. And Jesus Christ, why can I not jump when I've got fucking grapple out? I hate this game. Get the fuck away from me! These scary little dickheads, man. They just don't know how to leave me alone. I've headed back. Working full time is great. Going into sales is great. And that's what I've been doing. Very much, like I said, I had a great opportunity because of my family. But let me just say, I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to go into work. I wasn't going to do it. I wanted to do college. I wanted the social life aspect. I did it for a month. And in that month, what I found was, you know, I had some fun. I did. And maybe I didn't pick the right course in terms of trying to find, you know, interesting people. I can't bring up my course. I did esports, okay? We're not going to talk about it, but let's just say everyone in there had never shouted in their life, and it was, yeah. Anyway, I went to college, and at the end of the day, I just didn't feel like I was doing something in my life. And I went and worked, and yes, there is problems with working, 100%. It is hard to weigh working and your social life. A big thing with me is that I see my girlfriend actually quite a lot now recently, but it initially when we started dating, it was a bit harder to see her, and as well as that, I kind of have to pick and choose a bit now with who I see. In terms of, like I was saying there, my girlfriend. Sometimes I have to pick my girlfriend over my friends, and sometimes I have to pick my friends over my girlfriend, and it's just a bit rough because all I have is the weekend sometimes. And maybe there's only one day that my friends can meet, or, you know, it's quite hard to have a social life when you're full-time working, especially Monday to Friday, which is what I've been doing now for a little bit. It's difficult, but just listen to the benefits. It is so big, the benefits, because I know people are like, don't focus on money, but let me tell you, getting actual money, like work money, not just part-time job, money where you're like actually at work, even on like, you know, a lowish wage, like 18k a year or something, or, you know, that's quite a lowish wage. It still is just, having that money is fantastic. And at an age where maybe your parents won't be making you pay anything for rent, or, you know, it just in general, you don't have many out payments, you don't at this age, having the money is great. And I tell you, I feel like my friends miss out on so much that I'm able to do because I have money and they don't. And maybe I miss out on some of the social life at college. Maybe I don't get to do much there. But I feel like the stuff I get to do is so much higher quality. And, you know, to mention some things, I've gone on a few trips now with my money. And really, I'm not great at saving. It's been stuff I've been able to do just off like my one, you know, the same month's wage. You look up little trips, even abroad, so cheap. You can do so much. And when you're on a full-time job, you can pretty much go away every month. or go do stuff, or, you know, have a weekend away and do things all the time. It's awesome. And on top of that, you know, having a girlfriend, and being able to, you know, there's not a week really where we don't go out for dinner to a restaurant and don't go out to go do stuff. There's not many times where I'm not able to get us a nice bottle of wine. You know, there's so much you can do with having the money. And it's not to put a focus on money or be like, money should be your focus. That's not what I'm saying. It's just once you start working, you're able to, a lot opens up. And especially at an age where you have not much going out, and when working, having a lot coming in instead, it really is great. And it really is something I will be very big on to point out and to say is great. And so I think very much for this video, I just kind of wanted to tell people that it's awesome. And that, you know, that, as much as, Jesus Christ, fuck, it's really great. There's problems. Like I said, the problems is maybe with the social life, and sometimes I feel like, fuck, am I trapped? Wow, that is depressing. But no, in general, you only get those every now and then. And in general, it's fantastic. It's a great thing to do, to work full time. And I know I've just fucking waffled this whole video, but I've kind of made a vow to myself that I was just going to record and then just talk and then just jump on the video and upload it. I guess because I just want to stay authentic, I guess. I hate that word. I don't hate that word. I'm bullshitting. But what I mean, it just feels like it's a word that's used by fucking everyone to explain stuff. But I just wanted to jump on and just make it like a talk. So I've been very waffly. Yes, I've not really had a good structure of how I've been talking. But I think at the end of the day, coming out of all my waffle is working full time is actually really great at this age. There's so much you get to do. And there's a lot more opportunity. Yes, it's a bit harder when it comes to social life, but in general, there's times where I do get to go see my friends. I'm able to do so much more. And because I do have a bit more money and not as much going out, I'm even able to fund my mates sometimes. And for example, it is so much money. And, you know, I don't do this for everyone, but, you know, one of my really close friends I've been friends with for a very long time, he was actually not able to make it to a festival that me and my friends were going to, and I just ended up paying for his ticket. And I'm not saying that to try and make myself sound amazing, because Jesus Christ, it's just my friend, and I was trying to help him. But the reason I bring that up is that because not only does it enable stuff for yourself, but it enables you to do stuff with your friends as well. You know, you can, by just having even a basic wage, you know, when you don't have much coming out, you know, the amount of money that you can make from full time is pretty good, and you can go do things and, you know, still maybe help other people. And I'll tell you, the feeling of helping other people all the time and being able to offer some money out, and, you know, and being allowed, you know, being able to help maybe your friends that are at college to actually still be able to come out, come have drinks and stuff. It is a really nice feeling as well. And all the benefits that just come from working full time, it is great. I mean, just the fact that I can just buy the things I want to buy, and that's what's really nice about it. one thing I will say, which was a really good thing that I've been doing for a little while now, is first thing off, when you get paid, if you're going to full time, put 10% away. Just put 10% away, like instantly. Put it into I've got mine in an ISA, basically like a stocks thing, but ISA is really good, by the way, for initially starting off, because an ISA is basically a tax-free place to put your money, basically, to invest it, tax-free way to invest, and you get £20,000 a year. And when you're at our age and working full time, you're not going to be putting away more than 20k. Jesus Christ, I put nowhere near that in a year, because, even if I put all my wage, maybe it would just about make it to that. Oh, I don't know, fucking wouldn't. That's every single penny if I didn't have any out payments. But if you're just putting 10% away, it's really great for that. And the reason I say 10% is because 10% is a little bit of money that you're going to actually start saving a bit. But it's negligible. It's not absolutely massive. And what I do is I treat it like it's a tax. Like I've got an extra tax. So I try not to think of my money as the 100%. I see my money as the 90%, because I put that 10% right away, and then what's left, the 90%, is the money I have. I don't think about the money that I put away. And what that does do is that even if you're like me and you're really bad with your money and you spend so much, and what I do is I literally there is no month where I haven't spent all my money 2 weeks before the end of the month. It's so bad. But if you're like me and you do things like that, it's not that bad when you're putting 10% away. At the very least, you've got a bit of money that is building up over time. So that's the key advice I can give. But in general, all I could say is working is really great, and specifically working in sales is fantastic, because sales builds up your confidence. It's great. It builds up your confidence. It builds up your socializing skills. You get better at talking to people, which is something just so good for any type of job. And there is ways to make money, and quite a bit of money quite early on in your career. Sales is very much results driven, and especially usually you'll be able to get into a role that is commission based, which just means basically how well you're doing and how much money you sell, you make for the business. You take some percentage of that, maybe that's what your commission is, or maybe they just give you a certain amount or whatever, or like if you hit a certain target you get this amount. Works kind of differently with different companies, but overall sales is very much driven by, if you're selling more, you're making more money, and that's just how it is. That's what's great about it, because it is a really great job for teaching yourself to focus, start working hard on something, start putting some drive into something, because you have to focus and think about what you're going to do, how you're going to make more money. And in general, it builds that confidence, because you're forced to have to speak to people all the time. You're forced to have to speak to new people. You're forced to be able to deal with rejection. That's what comes from sales a lot. And I tell you, getting rejection a lot is one of the best things. Humbles you. It makes you think a bit. And if you actually go into a healthy way, going towards the rejection as seeing it as a time to actually to learn something. If you get rejected, you can think about, maybe next time, what can I say that will get me around a rejection like that? And in general, it teaches you just really good talking points. And I think things like, getting your point across becomes much easier. You kind of get a better understanding of how people work, and what they want out of things. And then, yeah, it's great. And specifically, working in IT, it is great. It is awesome, because IT has, every business can buy IT. So there's firstly so many people to be reaching out to, contacting, so many people. And then on top of that, there's so much money in IT, and a lot of people are buying stuff all the time, and IT can be really specialized, very expensive. And then even on the basic, your laptops and stuff, still lots of money in it, and can be lots of money in it. So there's so much opportunity to do well and go far with it. And so that's sort of a big point today is, firstly, I'd really recommend at least looking into working or doing an apprenticeship. There's apprenticeships with IT companies, one of them being Exertis, I know does really good apprentice schemes where they pay quite well. You get straight into sort of the sales role as a junior in it, and it's you're actually working right away. So that's really one I can advise. But yeah, no, honestly, everyone I see goes to college, and I think people need to give some of these other options to actually think about, because I tell you, working right away, firstly, you're getting paid. You're learning how to do a job, because as much as you might want to do all these things like escape the rat race and start a business, at some point you're going to have to work a little bit. Most of the time anyway. There's those 1% that won't, but do you know what I mean? Like, you will at some point. So it gets you started on that, and gets you used to sort of that dynamic, which puts you ahead of people. You're starting that before other people are, so you're getting in the game, getting your head together before anyone else is that is your age. And then as well as that, you're building experience. And let me tell you, experience is one of the biggest things that that hirers want, the employers want from people. And with having good experience, it opens up so many more job opportunities as well. I tell you, hearing some of our hiring stuff, honestly, someone that's got 5 years experience in a certain role, doing the role, I mean, most of the time is always going to get picked over someone that has a master's in university. And that sounds fucking crazy, but if they got 5 years and are doing well, people are going to pick experience over a university course or a college, or they are, because at the end of the day, experience is what matters. And you can be taught these things at uni or at college, but the job can be so much different to what you're wanting to do, and what you're expecting, and there's so much that comes to that. So going into a job right away is great. And like I said, sales is a really good one, but in general, trying to look at apprenticeships and maybe the area you're in, because I tell you, less and less people are caring about college and university, more and more people are caring about experience, and what you can offer them in terms of something different, and a lot of that difference comes from knowing the job already, and gaining your own understanding of things, so that you can actually build up your own ways of doing things. And especially sales is so based on lots of different techniques and different ways you can do, and having that experience and having that time on it is something that is great and can make you so much money. So at the end of the day, all I can say is really do look into full-time. It's something that's hard. It's a bit of an adjustment, but let me tell you, once you're in it, it's so great having the money. And it's not the money, as much as I keep going on about money. It's not that it's the money itself, but it's the freedom that money brings you, and that is it's great. So to end off this video, that's what I can advise. Is just when you're looking at college, when you're looking at universities and what you want to do, have a look at maybe the apprentice size, or maybe even, if you've turned 18 and you're out of college, maybe even looking to go into a job, because I say that they can be really, really great. And like I said, especially sales jobs are really great and really awesome for lots of different jobs. I mean, sales is behind so many businesses, so many things. And especially if you are someone that's interested in business and wants to start your own business, let me tell you, starting in sales is still a fantastic thing, because you'll build up some of those techniques, those experience. You'll learn how to sell. And once you know how to sell, you can start a business a lot easier, because you know how to fucking sell and you know how to start making money. So after all this fucking waffle, it took me a long time to get to my point, but I finally got to it. I know this is going to be just a shit video to watch, let's be honest, but hopefully you can actually take my advice at the end and actually listen to, just look into it and just see what you think, because I think so many people overlook it, and it really is great. I've really enjoyed the work I'm in, and I feel like I'm going so far in my career, and I know I've got quite a lucky opportunity that is with my family, but I've got one of my mates actually did do apprenticeship, and he actually went into IT as well. Did something with Exertis, actually. That's why I brought them up. I know they've got quite a good system, because I know he went into that, and he said it's been fantastic. He's been able to jump into a sales role right away, and really good opportunity to make money, and do well, build on your career, build experience, and as well as that, it's connections that you get from it as well. I mean, a lot of time you're talking to some quite higher ups in business, because most of the time with IT especially, it is these directors and managers that are controlling the IT, or making the decisions. So they're the people that you want to speak to. And so a lot of time you're actually having contact with some really quite higher up people, and having connections like that and building, your outreach and the people in your network, never a problem with that. Always a good thing. So keep that in mind. It's who is it? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Is that the saying? Jesus Christ, I'm so cliche. And I think on that note, I'm just gonna end the video because I'm a fucking waffler. But if you want to see some more videos from me, or you want to just talk about something, you got any ideas, please send them my way. I'm not always as fucking energetic as this. I like to take some more chill videos where I just talk in a very nice way, but I feel like I've been a bit more like in this video. I don't know why. But yeah, I've got one other video. Hopefully should pop up at the end of this bit once I'm kind of done. That one I think I'm quite happy with, so definitely have a check out on that one. It's a bit more structured, a lot more structured and thought out than this video. This one was a lot more, I just kind of wanted to jump on and make a video just to get one out, and also to, you know, kind of have an authentic approach of just talking and just going over some of my points on it. What the fuck is that? I've never seen that. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Video is up on the screen now, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much. See ya. Bye.